And good afternoon and welcome to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show. Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I tell you, today is Wednesday. It is hump day. It's what we call hump day, right? It's getting over the hump and sliding on into the weekend. I tell you, this has been a week. I call it a week for the books for me. I don't know about anyone else, but it has been something. It just feels kind of like, I don't know if it feels long or if reality is, kind of setting in that we're still in the middle of a pandemic or, just things seem to be settling around us, but then you read the news or you watch the news and yeah, it just feels like, wow, it's still going, right? I mean, goodness, who would have thought that we would be experiencing this in our lives? But you know what? We're staying thankful. We're definitely staying thankful. And today, Wellness Wednesdays, I wanted to talk a little bit about our mental health, of course, because mental health is so important. And yesterday, we had in the studio Miss World Cayman, Miss Roshana Hides, as well as the director of Miss Cayman, Miss Cayman World. That's Pamela Ebanks Small, also the director of the Girl Power Cayman. And they were talking about Roshana's platform. And so I just kind of thought about, you know what, let's dedicate today to that because I don't know how many other people are kind of feeling a little, that's kind of how I've been feeling. So let's kick that in the teeth today and let's talk a little bit about some happy stuff, right? And how to get our mind kind of in the right place. All right. So I wanted to talk about that. So your mental health, phys, phys, your psychological, emotional, and social well-being impacts every area of your life. Having positive mental health allows you to effectively deal with the daily stresses of life, communicate well with others, make healthy decisions, and live life to its fullest. But sometimes struggles with mental illnesses and addiction, sometimes just feeling down, sometimes not feeling your best self, might make it seem like achieving a healthy mental state is impossible, but that is not true. So don't believe that. Take your time healing as long as you want, as long as you need. Feel what you have to feel. Because sometimes people are saying, oh, just be thankful, oh, almost as if you're not being thankful. And so sometimes you have to sit in your space and say, hey, it's not that I'm not being thankful. It's just that I'm feeling these things and I have to be in tune with what I'm feeling. And it's okay to flow through that. Flow through that. That's what's important, flowing through that moment. But feeling it is important because we are whole human beings. And so we feel joy and we feel disappointment and we feel anger and we feel pain and we feel all kinds of stuff. We feel excitement. It's normal. So it's okay. So to sit in your space, not to stay there forever, that's important, but to flow through it and to be able to feel that. Take your time healing as long as you need. No one else has to know what you've been through. They don't know it. They don't have to know it. How could they know how long it'll take for you to heal? That's a question. And one small crack does not mean that you're broken. It just means that you were put to the test and you did not fall apart. I think that is so important. And so, yeah, that is, what I want to talk about this afternoon. So hopefully you've tuned in and you're thinking about that. And we're just going to get started and talk about that today. Mental health. How are we taking care of our mental health? And I'm going to share some other things a little later in the show. But let's talk about that. All right. So I found some ways to build our mental health. And so how is it that we're going to kind of help ourselves walk through this path of not feeling our best and get to safety? I call it that, get to safety. How do we get to safety, right? Okay, thinking about what's happening right now, not thinking about the past, not being anxious for the future is one way. So let's think about what's happening right now. What's real, what's not real, what are we perceiving? And, to kind of relax ourselves into our moment, right? And start to maybe look at thinking about what we can be thankful for. That's also good. But one of the ways we can definitely start, building our mental strength is to establish some goals. Okay, so we can start looking at things that we want to do. right? And things that are possible to do. So maybe things that we used to do before are not possible right now, but what are some of the things that are possible? Our human brain is naturally predisposed to reach out and achieve goals, right? So we're trying to always reach out to achieve goals, and not just one big goal, such as maybe you want to lose 50 pounds, right? But small goals, manageable goals. So if losing 50 pounds happens to be one of them, how about thinking about that first pound first? Yeah, and maybe 2 pounds, or up to 5 pounds and 10 pounds. And then eventually you may get to the 50 pounds. But set more manageable short term goals, such as you want to work out for 30 minutes, right? That'll be good. Or maybe once a week, and then you kind of step that up to twice a week, 3 times a week. Maybe you want to set a goal about being on your phone. Okay, like your phone is telling you the phone time that you've been on there. I don't know about anybody else, but all of the information kind of coming from the internet sometimes can get me a little anxious, can get me down. And so maybe you want to take a break from that. Maybe you want to go on YouTube and find happy songs. Maybe if you've normally been listening to things that a little, with angst in it, or a little anger, or, raising hell, or whatever it is, but maybe look at some happy stuff. If that means gospel to you, fine. If it means inspiration, calypso, soca, whatever it is, maybe you want to do that, and you want to challenge yourself to not look at these things on the internet, but you're going to find alternative things to look at that's going to make you happy. If you're behind in your work, maybe you want to set some time that you will catch up with stuff. So maybe you want to set aside on Sunday, I'm going to clean out that closet, or I'm going to clean out that room. Maybe you want to just set some goals for yourself, as well as if it's at work and you tend to be behind. Okay, how are you starting your day? Can you start your day a little earlier? Can you maybe get on the road a little earlier, because traffic, you're going to catch traffic when you go a certain time? Can you give yourself a 15-minute window outside of your normal, routine? Just things that will help you achieve the goals, but they'll make you feel like you're on top of things, and distract you too. Because I find that I get distracted by activity. So if activity is distracting for me, then let me get involved with that, and I have less time to think, oh my goodness, I can't travel, I'm not traveling, oh, I'm stuck on this island. That's my thing, kind of. And so if whatever your thing is, kind of figure out what that is, and figure out how you can combat that. All right. So when you start setting little small goals, every goal that you achieve, you'll gain more confidence in your ability to succeed. You'll also learn to recognize when your goals are unrealistically ambitious and when they're not challenging enough. All right, so put something in place that's going to be challenging for you, that you can achieve it, check it off and go, did that, okay, great. And then it probably will get you to the next step. So start, just like a staircase, you start with one step, but if you never put your foot on that first step, you're not going to get upstairs. Yeah, okay, so that one's a good one. Establishing goals. Another one is setting yourself up for success. I like that. Becoming mentally strong doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to temptations every day. Make your life a little easier by modifying your environment. If you want to work out in the morning, leave your shoes next to the bed at night, or sleep in your gym clothes, or put your gym clothes near the bed so you can put them on. If you want to eat healthier, remove the junk food from your pantry. I can tell you what, that works. I have done that in my house, and I've sat down. A couple of days ago, I was like, I really would love some candy right now, but I have none in this house. So you know what? I couldn't have candy. Guess what I ended up getting up to get? Some grapes out of the fridge, because I had bought grapes. And you should have seen me with these grapes. I was like, oh my gosh, this tastes so good. Because it was kind of like, appeasing that sweet tooth thing that I needed at that moment, but it wasn't candy. So that really does work. So get the junk food out of there if that's your problem. When you set yourself up for success, you won't exhaust your mental energy trying to resist the urge to sleep in, or to dig a bag of potato chips and go find that bag of chocolate. But normally, I used to have like a bag of kisses. I'm not going to tell you guys about it, because you're going to go pick it up at the grocery store if I, just talk about it too much. But yeah, I think one of my motivations was the cholesterol that I talk about quite often, right? So that was a motivation, because it dealt with my health. And so there you go. I mean, get rid of it so the temptation isn't there. All right. Discomfort can lead people to look for unhealthy shortcuts. So when you're not feeling your best, when you're kind of down, you want to, just comfort yourself with something, right? Rather than deal with the problem, we reach for something that provides immediate emotional relief, like maybe even drinking a glass of wine or some type of liquor or something, or binge watching our favorite show, for example. But those short-term solutions can long-term problems, right? So when you find like you're binging out on your favorite show, 2 3 hours can pass by and you've done nothing, right? So if you're working from home now, which a lot of us are, push yourself to not be tempted to just kind of walk around in your pajamas and just, I call it just kind of slosh around the house, right? I was working from home the other day and a friend of mine came over. She was like, "Oh, look at you, full makeup." And I was like, "Nope, I'm working." So, because I was like, let me put on some clothes. Let me act as if I'm going somewhere, right? Because if I don't, then I'm going to be in that mind frame. So by doing that, it kind of got me at the computer. It got me, making my list and achieving some of the things that I needed to achieve that day. Wherein that whole day I could have sat down and binge watched a couple of shows on Netflix because that is my jam. Okay, so it's not saying that that's not what you want to do or that's not what you do sometimes, but sometimes it can get in the way of being productive. And then when you're not productive, then you feel yourself and it all starts again. So it's almost like this constant thing that happens, right? So you end up in this little cycle where you feel bad about something and you just continue doing things that make you feel worse, and then you never come out of those doldrums, right? Like that place. And I hate being in that place. So I'm working really hard to kind of, come on, let's pep it up, let's do something. And we of course have the beautiful ocean, we have the beautiful water, we have the beautiful sea. We can go to the beach, we can sit in the sun. Yeah, we can get a nice cool glass of water or some juice or something or a fruit. We can go in the water and we can, kind of get that salt spray and that salt air and everything and feel better. So those are some type of things that we can do that some people can't do. So tolerate discomfort for greater purpose. Okay, that's a good one. So practice tolerating discomfort by reminding yourself of the bigger picture. Push yourself to work on your budget, even though it causes you to feel anxious. Run on the treadmill. Don't escape the discomfort. The more you tolerate discomfort, the more confidence you'll have in your ability to do difficult things. You have it in you. You are able to do it. And the more you push yourself, the more you feel better about getting past that. Things that are hard. There was a young lady telling me she needed to get up at a job. I think the job was looking to hire her, and it started at 8 o'clock. She had to be there at 8 o'clock, and she got off at 6, and then she would get an hour lunch. She's hard, and I said, hard? You're not breaking bricks. Like I literally said, it's not breaking bricks, is it? Like, think about the people that are out there that are building, that are working in the hot sun, that are picking up, big bricks or big, tools or tiles or whatever, and the sun is beating down on them. You have to be in an air-conditioned office at 8 o'clock in the morning, to help customers. And so, what were you saying again? Was that hard? And she was like, "You're so right. You're so right." Yeah. So, you know, even if it is hard, we're tolerating the discomfort for the greater purpose. Like, all right, it might be hard, sure, to get up for 8 o'clock in the morning, but the bigger picture is this. You're working towards a goal. You're going to be able to save some money. You're going to be able to, buy yourself a car or go get your own apartment or whatever it is. You want to go back to school, whatever it is. You have to pay your bills, and this is what it's going to achieve for you. So you tolerate your life, and that makes you feel better. Yeah. Another thing, reframe your negative thoughts. Strive to develop a realistic yet optimistic inner monologue. Reframe catastrophic thoughts like, when will this ever end? There's no end in sight, or this is never going to work. I'll never get that, I'll never get there. Like, stop that. Just reframe your negative thoughts. You can't eliminate all of them, but you have to reframe them. Everyone has rough patches, everyone has bad days. Always know that too. Always know that someone's day or someone's situation could be very much worse than yours. This is not just you on an island by yourself suffering. That literally you are with a larger body of people that are probably going through some worse things than you, right? When you start replacing those overly pessimistic thoughts with more realistic expectations, you can see that your your right? Don't blame people. Take responsibility for your role in whatever has happened. Acknowledge and face your mistakes so you can learn from them and avoid repeating them in the future. If you don't accept your part in the problem, if you don't accept your part in whatever is happening, you have a part in it, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent. What is your part? What did you do? What can you do? What will you do? What should you do? It's always going to be you needing to look at yourself in the midst of it. When you do that, you're no longer a victim of circumstances, right? You're no longer just sitting there and things just keep happening. Oh, he never got no luck. You hear that a lot. I believe you make your luck. I think you're right. He doesn't have any luck because look who he's hanging around with. No, of course I wouldn't expect luck from that angle because the last time I checked, it seemed like a lot of negativity going on over there. Why are you over there? Come on over here, right? Or go over there. So we don't want people saying he don't have no luck or she don't have no luck or I don't have no luck. First of all, don't call that down on yourself. So when you're trying to build your mental strength, you have to be really cognizant of how much you are in charge of what you're doing sometimes to yourself. And you have to take responsibility for that. And you have to be an active player. Let me get this together. Let me move forward. Let me move towards this. I want this. I need this. This is what I'm working towards. How am I going to get it and start breaking things down? It's very, very important. And do something towards your goal every single day. So now when you've written these things down and you have created this vision board for yourself and you've created these smart goals, do one thing towards your goal every single day, right? No matter how hard it is, do it. Always be working towards that because now as you kind of cut it down, you cut it down, you cut it down, it's done. And now you can feel like, all right, I accomplished that. That's awesome. Okay? Use the 10-minute rule. Mental strength won't magically make you feel motivated all of the time, but it can help you be productive even when you don't feel like it. When you're tempted to put off something, use the 10-minute rule. When you eye the couch at the time you plan to go for a run, tell yourself to get moving for just 10 minutes. If your mind is still fighting your body after 10 minutes, give yourself permission to quit. Chances are that won't happen because you started it. Getting started is often the hardest part. Once you take the first step, you'll realize it's not nearly as bad as you predicted, and your other skills can keep you going, right? So keep it moving. Get up, use that 10-minute rule. I usually say, all right, I'm getting up in 10 minutes. That's what I said this morning getting out of the bed. I'm getting up in 10 minutes. I really am. It's going to take me 5 minutes to do my makeup, 5 minutes to find clothes, 5 minutes to shower, 5 minutes to this. I was just like, bargaining with myself about when I'm going to get up. And seriously, that's exactly what happened. So it really does work. Talk to yourself. Talk yourself into these things, right? Because you got to talk yourself out of depression sometimes. You got to talk yourself out of that moment. It's not that simple. I'm not simplifying it. Trust me. And if you need to speak with a professional because it's that serious, then please do. But if it's not, and you know it, and you feel it, and you just feel like you're just not yourself, all right, let's just get ourselves in gear here. Okay? Prove yourself wrong. The next time you think you can't do something, prove yourself wrong. Commit to doing one more push-up at the gym or closing one more sale this month. Maybe challenge yourself to make 10 calls each day, right? You might be getting some no's, but if you start saying, I'm going to call 10 calls today, I'm going to get 20 calls today, maybe you're going to get a yes. But if you give up after that first call, that second call, well, maybe you've given up too fast, right? So your mind will want to quit long before your body needs to give up. Prove to yourself that you're more capable than you give yourself credit for, and over time, your brain will stop underestimating your potential. So you almost got to kick your brain into gear by saying, hey, we can do this. We're going to do this. Let's keep it moving. Okay? Another way to build your mental strength is to do one hard thing every day. Now, this is a tough one. It's a tough one for all of us, right? You won't improve by accident. Purposely challenge yourself. Of course, what's challenging to you might not be to someone else, so you need to analyze where your comfortable boundaries are. Then pick something slightly outside those boundaries and take one small step every day. That could mean speaking up for yourself when it's comfortable, when it's uncomfortable, or enrolling in a class you don't feel qualified for, or even applying for a job that you feel you don't meet all the requirements. Push yourself to become a little better today than you were yesterday. Those are some ways that you can build your mental strength that can help get you out of that place where you are right now and get you to a happy spot. Okay. And in the meantime, always know whatever you're saying to yourself, you're believing. Okay. Really. Whatever you're saying to yourself, you're believing. So stop saying negative things to yourself. Start saying things to yourself that you want to believe because you're believing one way or the other. Talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend. Talk to yourself like you should be talking to your child. Okay? And make sure that you are keeping yourself motivated and you are manifesting and you're bringing these things into your kind of sphere, right? It's bringing those things that's surrounding you so that you can really set yourself up to get to that happy place. All right, we will be right back with more. You guys stay tuned, and we shall be back with more of our Straight Talk Drive at 5 show. This is Catherine Tyson, your host. I am here trying to get us to a commercial, and we're in our new studio right now, so some things are a little bit more, a little different, and so I'm here trying to get us going to a commercial, but we'll be getting there in a couple of seconds. But yes, so that's the way for us to build our mental strength and start to take care of ourselves, all right, and get ourselves to safety. That's what I call it. I call it getting you to safety. We have to do it. And welcome back to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show. Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. This is Wellness Wednesdays, and we are talking about mental health. We're talking about how to strengthen your mental health and how to get yourself back on track. If you happen to feel a little down, things aren't really what you're accustomed to, and we're all in the midst of a pandemic, and so yeah, it's natural to feel this way. So don't feel like you're on your own, and don't feel like I don't know what's going on with me, but maybe something's happening. No, nothing's happening. You're just experiencing what's going on around you. That's it. And we've been kind of soaking it up like sponges for a while now, so just wanted to encourage us this afternoon Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. That was from Barack Obama. Now, and I like that. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Okay, so yeah, we sometimes are waiting for people to do things, and why are you not doing that? Why should you keep doing that? You know what? You know what we should do? You know what you could do? I get people telling me that all the time. You know what you should do, Catherine? You need to start this. And I'm saying, how come you're not starting it? Let's start it together. Let's do that together. But change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. The time is now. The person is you. So do it, right? And another thing, how wonderful is it that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world? Wow. Anne Frank said that. I'm going to repeat it. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. You can start doing that right now. As you're pulling into the gas station, you can give the person that is attending to you a smile. You can actually ask, how are you doing? How is your day? Decided to take $50, $25 premium. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You look really nice in your uniform. This is great. Okay, you start improving that right now. When you go to the grocery store, wherever, whatever it is, start to improve the world today, one person at a time. I love that. And you know what? Anne Frank, I was watching that a couple of months back when the lockdown really started, and we were in lockdown at that time. I was teaching on Zoom, and I actually showed the movie from YouTube to the class I was teaching. It was a Passport to Success class on Zoom, and we called them the Zoom group, right? And they were so awesome. Oh my goodness, those kids just showed up every day. I mean, just it was just amazing. And just watching this young lady and what she went through, go ahead and check that out on YouTube and see what she went through. And maybe if we do that, we can appreciate where we are. Because if somebody went through that and found joy in their lives or found a way to survive that, right? Yeah, maybe just maybe we can just be thankful and get out of our little whatever it is that we're in, right? So let's start to improve the world one person at a time. Okay, now remember to go to Straight Talk Drive at 5 and like the page. All right, those of you listening, remember to do that. If you do that now, or if you do that when you get home, that would be great to support the page, as well as Star 92.7. If you have not done that yet, Star 92.7, go to Facebook, as well as Instagram, and like the page. Okay, so support your local entertainment. Comes on, entertains you every day. And Straight Talk is every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday coming out here, and it's not as easy as it looks. Can you imagine? Yes, and I'm so glad for those of you that talk to me when you see me and say, "Oh, the show was really good. Really like that. It was a great subject matter. Love that. Thank you. Shout out to you, whoever said that to me. You know who you are if you're listening. A couple of you. Thank you so much for the encouragement. All right, some rules for a good life. That is what I'm going to focus on for the next couple of minutes. Focus on what you can control. I like that. Yeah, focus on what you can control. A lot of times we're looking at things that we cannot control, and those are the things we're focusing on. And of course, that's going to get us frustrated. We're going to get frustrated because if you can't control something, then how are you going to change it? But what you can change is yourself. You can change your position. You can change your situation. You can change how you feel about it. You can change how you're reacting to it. Okay? But focus on what you can control, not what you can't. That is going to alleviate a lot of problems in your life if you start doing that. You control how you respond to things. Absolutely. Don't forget that. You have the power. And if you responded, in a way that you think could be improved, then do it differently next time. Do not sit and beat yourself up. Do not sit and, give yourself a hard time. Come on, forgive yourself. Get over it. Forgive yourself. That's another thing. A rule for a good life: forgive yourself. Absolutely. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've done. Forgive yourself and try not to do it again. In fact, don't do it again. All right. So if you're somebody who you're very hard on yourself, I can't believe I did that, and you just stay in that place, that's not going to be good for you. You're not going to be living your life to the fullest. So forgive yourself and don't do it again. Move on. Maybe look at why you did it. Look at what happened. Look at the circumstances and see if circumstances need changing. Because sometimes circumstances need to change. Maybe you had to do that at that particular time. Okay. Another thing I will say: forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. It's true. You have to forgive them. Yes. They probably did the best they could at the time that they were doing it. Yeah. But don't continue to allow them to hurt you. So people that are mad at their parents, I always say that to them. You can forgive them and you can still not allow them to continue to do whatever it is that they've done to hurt you. Okay. So remember that. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Like any situation, ask yourself, is this necessary? Okay. And if it's not, well, there's your answer. Now what are you going to do? Another rule I would say is to think before you talk. Is it necessary for me to say this? Is it necessary for me to say it this way? How will I communicate it? Right? How do I want it to come off? And so you work on that. So you spend less time offending people or getting yourself in problems that you have to apologize for. Yeah. So think about it. Meditate every day on your life. Every day. Find one moment in your life every day. One moment. That could be in the morning before you wake up, or it could be before you go to bed. And be thankful. Maybe you might take that time to look at the day. Maybe if it's in the morning, you can look at the day before and you can look at what the day is going to look like. Or if it's at night, you can look at the things that have happened. You can kind of review some things. You can see some things that you did really, really great and high five yourself, and see some things that need some improvement and start thinking about what you'll do to improve that. All right. But meditation on your life will allow you to get up and do it better the next day. Right. Value time more than money and possessions. Time is very, very valuable, right? And that's the most important thing. Value time, value your health, because all of those things are important, because when you leave here, you leave it all. You leave it all. You don't take anything with you. So value the time, value your good health, value the people that you love, value the people that are around you, more than money and your possessions. Those are things that will definitely pass away, right? When you pass away, you leave them right here, and you don't know what happens to them. Remember, another rule: you are the product of your habits. Okay, so whatever habits you have, you actually are the product of that. So are they good habits or are they bad habits? So what are some of the habits that you want to start creating for yourself in order for you to get the results that you're looking for, right? Remember, you have the power to have no opinion. So I want to say that again, because I'm very much, the promoter of you have the power, because I think you do. You have the power, but you also have the power to have no opinion. So not everything needs you to weigh in. Not everything you have to speak about. Not everything you have to give a comment about. Not everything requires take on it, requires your opinion, right? I mean, some people just always are filled with telling people their opinion. And sometimes you can stand back and you're watching and you're thinking, why do they tell them that? Who cares? Let that person do what they have to do. It's not hurting anybody. In fact, that's what they like in their life. Leave them alone, right? People are giving opinions about your hair. They're giving opinions about your clothes. They're giving opinions about your job, your car, where you live, what you're doing with your children. Opinions about everything. You have the power to have no opinion. That's okay too. And that might save you some grief, because if you tend to get yourself in problems because you're giving your opinion and you end up in disputes with people quite often, then you might think, oh, had I held that back, would that have helped me not to be in that situation? So there you go, right there. All right. Own the morning. Own the morning. What does that mean? Own the morning. I have to say, what does that mean? Because not everybody's a morning person. But own the morning. It is a great time of day. It is a a great time to be thankful, to be grateful that you were given another day, another opportunity to do it better. I call it a blank slate. So you've been given a blank slate when you open your eyes first thing in the morning and there's this like a blank piece of paper. What are you going to put on it today? So own it. Because I know some people like to sleep late, especially on the weekends. If you sleep until 12, 1, you've lost half of the day. And that, to me, is more tragic, right? But generally on the weekend, we're up and bright, and through the week, we're struggling. But own the morning. That is the time for you to get in touch with yourself and set your day up for how it's going to be. Put yourself up for a review. That's another rule. Put yourself up for a review. Interrogate yourself. Meaning ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself those hard questions, right? Where am I going? What am I doing? Why did I do that? Why am I in this situation? What do I want out of my life? What's going to make me happy? A lot of times, especially women, we tend to be surrounded by people that we're concerned about. We're concerned about their happiness. We're concerned about how they're doing, how they're functioning, have they eaten, how they're feeling. Well, what about you? Okay, so review yourself, be in touch with yourself, and that's going to help you feel like you are in control of your life, because you are. Don't suffer imagined troubles. Let it be real. Separate the realistic from the unrealistic, from what's real and what's not real, what's imagined. Well, I know when she said that, she must have meant this. How do you know that's what she must have meant? Maybe sometimes we have given ourselves this whole dialogue that's not even real. So don't suffer imagined troubles. I know he don't like me. How do you know that? In fact, what does it matter? What does it matter if someone, unless that person really is someone that's in charge of your life and they're feeding you, or they're your boss or something like that. Because I mean, your boss needs to at least like you, tolerate you, right? Your boss doesn't like you, we got a problem. If your mom doesn't like you, you got a problem. If your sister doesn't like you, you got a problem. You know what I mean? Like, you got a problem with certain things, but not always. Not everyone. Not everyone has that role in your life. So don't suffer imagined troubles. Ensure that you are not wasting your time with kind of imagining things and petty things that you could be like living a full life instead of being caught up with. Love that goes right with it is try to see the good in people. I know that girl doesn't like me. Why? Why would she not like you? Ask yourself that question. There's your interrogating yourself. Why would she not like you? Because I think as you get older, you do realize that when you start looking at yourself and you start ensuring that you're doing the things that you need to do to be, to be a decent person, you're fine. Like, you're free. Almost your brain is free from feeling like that one doesn't like you, that one is against you, or that one's trying to hurt. No, because your conscience is clear, right? You know that you're living your life. You're not interfering with this person. You're not trying to hurt that person. You're not doing anything to offend this person. So, hey, if at the end of the day they've made a decision not to like you, okay, that's what you decided. No problem. I'm going to be over here, though, living, and I'm not going to be hating you. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So, when you try to see the good in people, then you kind of almost like relieve yourself of the burden of what someone might be thinking or what someone might be feeling, and you could be very, very wrong. So it's better for you to see the good in them so that you're not carrying anything that you could be off base with anyway, right? Never be overheard complaining, even to yourself. Wow. Now that's a kick in the teeth, right? Because sometimes we can complain about stuff, but the motto of that, I think, is to see the glass as half full, to always find the blessing in the moment, or the blessing in the lesson. Sometimes blessings are in the lessons, right? So I think sometimes when we're complaining, I don't know if you notice it, but when you find that person that you see in the grocery store, and every time you see that person anywhere, but you run into them in the grocery store and they're complaining, aren't you trying to get out of there really quick, like get away from them? Because Look, I wasn't trying to be brought down. I walked in here. I wanted to get some tomatoes and, peppers and chicken. I'm trying to go cook something. I'm all happy today. I'm like, oh, goodness, let me tell you this. And next thing you know, you're caught up 10, 20 minutes later, and you are just like, what did I come in here for? I don't even feel like cooking anything right now. I went to pick up some food somewhere because the complaining was like, no, that's what this is one of the rules. Stop complaining. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. Sometimes people just want to be okay. Like, I don't know, say something good. Oh, you know what? They had this nice event this past weekend. That was so nice. It was, it cost this and it was there. It was set up down there at that hotel. Oh goodness, you should go to that. Or have you gone to the movies lately? That's what I saw. Like, talk about something positive. You don't always have to complain when you see somebody. And then, have you ever watched a complainer that continues, like, as soon as they stop talking to you and someone else hails them, they're back complaining again? So they just kind of they do the rounds, the complaining, right? Yeah, sometimes some people just want to be saturated in that. I'm saying to you, come out of that. Come on out, come on out, come out to freedom, okay? Two ears, one mouth for a reason. Listen just as much as you talk, or listen more than you talk. Sometimes we can just listen to hear what people are saying and take that and keep it moving, because sometimes we'll say something and it might be something that we shouldn't have said, or something, now we said something in a way that they took it the wrong way and they're all offended, and oh, so there you go, right? And there's always something you can do. Yes, you have the control, you have the power. Don't compare yourself to others. You want to live a good life, don't compare yourself to others. Your life is not their life. Their story is not your story. You don't have to understand their story. You don't have to know their story, and they don't have to understand or know yours. You know your story. You know why you have what you have. You know why you do what you do. You know why you're where you are. Okay? So don't compare yourself to others. Never, ever, ever. Don't compare the way you look to others. Don't compare what they have to you. Don't compare money. Don't compare jobs. You are living your full, authentic life, and you should be celebrating it every day. You should be happy in your life. And if there are some things that you want different, well, go ahead and get yourself there. Get yourself to safety. Start making some lists. Start setting some goals. Start making some plans, and start working towards that thing that you want or that life that you want. But do not compare yourself to others, and don't do it because other people have it, because that there will get you in a lot of trouble. You will end up spending money that you don't have. You'll end up getting bills that you don't need because you're trying to live up to what you see somebody across the street from you doing, right? Yep, absolutely. You go to brunch every Sunday. Brunch costs $50. Brunch costs $100. Can you afford brunch every Sunday? Because last time I checked, you were not working. So that means if you're getting access to money like that, what else could you be doing with that money? I'm not saying anything wrong with brunch. Love it, of course. I'm just saying, don't try to keep up with people that quite possibly can't afford certain things, and you are here, going out of your way trying to be like them. Stop being like people. Be authentically yourself, right? Live as if you've died and come back. Now, let me tell you, I don't know if anybody heard that or felt that, but I sure did. Live as if you've died and come back. Because there are some things that you would do differently. Like, you say that sometimes too. I say it. Oh, if I were 25 again, what I would do. Oh, if I would do this. Well, live as if you died and come back. Live as if you have the opportunity to do something different today. So if you didn't do it yesterday, every morning, like I said, you wake up, here's your second chance. Here's your new day. Here's your new day that has dawned. Here is your white slate, right? Clean slate. The best revenge is to not be like that. That's a good one too. The best revenge is to not be like that. Okay? So being the best person that you can be is really, the best way for you to live a good life. Yeah? So if someone did you something, if someone did you wrong, okay, that's fine. Don't be like that. If someone has wronged you in some way, don't be like that. Pray for them. And get yourself across the street. I'm not saying stay there, stand there. No, no. Get yourself to safety. Get yourself to safety. But don't be like that, right? Because that joy and that feeling that you have is going to be better for you in the long run. Because when you're trying to one up people or be just as bad as they are, you're going to feel just as bad as they probably feel. But definitely you won't feel good. So that's important. Okay. Don't follow the mob. That's for our social picks, and that's probably all of us at some point. That's on there, pressing love, pressing like, sharing, following. Don't follow the mob. You don't know what the mob's real life looks like. Trust me, they are posing with their perfect smile, their makeup just right, their hair parted just right, in their best suit, and posing in their exercise outfit, their exercise equipment, but their life is not perfect. You have no idea what's behind those pictures. So do not follow the mob. Create the life for yourself, map it out, vision it out, plan it out, and live it. It's your life, right? Learn something from everyone and know that anyone can teach you something, right? But follow your own footsteps. That's what's important, okay? I'm going to read this little thing for you before I end the show today. All right. Arthur Berry was described by Time as the slickest second story man in the East, truly one of the most famous jewel thieves of all time. In his years of crime, he committed as many as 150 burglaries and stole jewels valued between $5 and $10 million. He seldom robbed from anyone not listed in the social register and often did his work in a tuxedo. On an occasion or two, when caught in the act of a crime by a victim, he charmed his way out of being reported to the police. Like most people who engage in a life of crime, he was eventually caught, convicted, and served 25 years in prison for his crimes. Following his release, he worked as a counterman in a roadside restaurant on the East Coast for $50 a week. A newspaper reporter found him and interviewed him about his life. After telling about the thrilling episodes of his life, he came to the conclusion of the interview saying, "I am not good at morals, but early in my life I was intelligent and clever, and I got along well with people. I think I could have made something of my life, but I didn't. So when you write the story of my life, when you tell people about all the burglaries, don't leave the biggest one of all. Don't just tell them, I robbed Jesse Livermore, the cousin of the King of England. You tell them Arthur Berry robbed Arthur Berry. I robbed Arthur Berry of a life." Okay? So time is measurable. Everybody has their time, be it pauper or king. It's how much time you have. It's how much you use that time. That's what counts in the long run. And how many of us are simply robbing ourselves, right? So remember that every morning we are credited with 86,400 minutes, seconds, right? And the bank of life credits us 86,400 seconds every morning. And every night it writes off as lost whatever of this we have failed to invest to good purpose. It carries over no balance. It allows no overdraft. Each day it opens a new account. Each night it burns the remains of the day. If we fail to use the day's deposits, the loss is ours. There is no going back. There is no drawing against the tomorrow. You can't hoard it, save it, store it, loan it, or invest it. You can only use it. You must live in the present on today's deposits. Invest it so as to get from it the utmost in health, happiness, and success. The clock is running. Make the most of every day. So the value of 1 year, to realize the value of 1 year, ask a patient who's been given a year to live. To realize the value of 1 month, ask a mother who gave birth to a premature baby. To realize the value of 1 week, ask the editor of a weekly newspaper. To realize the value of 1 hour, ask the workers who have a punch clock at work. To realize the value of 1 minute, ask a person who missed the train. To realize the value of 1 second, ask a person who just avoided an accident. And to realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask the person who won a silver medal in the Olympics. Let us start thinking of how we're spending our time and how much better it can be valued. A new year is in the horizon with endless possibilities, and it's up to us individually to make the choices with our most valuable commodity, time, because it's on no one. Begin to treasure every moment that we have because it is all that we have and it is the most important thing that we have. So there you have it with what you do with your time and with your life. So how do we get mentally healthy? We start to take care of ourselves. We say no if we have to. We relax if we need to. We ask for help, right? And we forgive, forgive, and we just do the best that we can. And we know that we're on the right track. That's what we do. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. This was your Straight Talk Drive to 5 show, Wellness Wednesdays. I'm Catherine Tyson, your host, and appreciate you. I will talk with you again tomorrow, Thursday, where we will have a great guest, a young Caymanian that we will be showcasing on our Thursday Success 101 show. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.